Hello everybody and welcome to episode 16 of the Kingdom Hearts series. First off, I'd like to thank you guys for watching this series. It's been a labor of love so far, and we have finished the first Kingdom Hearts game. As a result, the next game on our list is Chain of Memories, but before we jump into that, I wanted to do an interlude episode. We should be doing this in between all of the Kingdom Hearts games where we look back at the previous game, we talk about it. There's plenty of information from the developers about it that I kind of wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about reception and some of the stuff in interviews leading into the next game. Just as a heads up though, don't expect any heavy edits in this episode. Most of it is going to be using B-roll footage because I'm going to be talking in terms of interviews and some other stuff. And I'm also not that professional when it comes to editing. I'm still, even after I've been using my editing suite for years, I'm still learning new stuff with it. So it's always a learning experience. So don't expect anything extravagant for this interlude. The first thing I'd like to go through is an interview that we can find in the Kingdom Hearts Ultimania. Basically a large guidebook that not only gives you strategies on Kingdom Hearts, it also comes with concept art and stuff like this, interviews. Specifically with Tetsuya Nomura, the director of the entire series. So there are a few questions here and I wanted to roll through them. The first thing I wanted to pull out of this interview was his words about King Mickey and why he was only used in one scene. He answers, "Actually, due to contractual issues, we were only able to use him in one scene, so I thought hard about where to put him in." He continues, "Disney gave us permission for a role such as waving from the back of a crowd of people in town, but if we were going to use him, I thought we should use him in a single shot to leave the greatest impression possible. So there was only that one place that we could use him in, really, which is why he appears at the end of the game on the other side of the door to darkness." I have to say, personally, it did leave a lasting impression, and really shows that Disney is very sensitive about Square using their mascot, and after this game, Square essentially proved themselves, and since the game became a big success, King Mickey is used a lot more in the series to come, and it's not really, a surprising thing, but it's very interesting that he starts from being a character that has about 10 seconds of screen time to just being a normal character that you see a hell of a lot more as the series goes on. The next question is going to pertain to the Keyblade and its connection to both Sora and Riku. Riku is the one who is destined to get the Keyblade, but Sora ends up getting it. And this question is basically why. Nomura answers, "That part is also a bit vague. In the Destiny Islands, when Riku is swallowed by the darkness, there's a sparkle of light. And next comes the scene where Sora first gets the Keyblade. In my setting, the darkness wrapping itself around those two is the darkness of Riku's heart. At the moment when Sora enters that darkness, the light you can see is the light of the heart. Sora, trying to help Riku, struggling in the darkness, touches that light, and temporarily the Keyblade goes to Sora." This actually got a lot more specific than I expected it to, and really sheds light on that entire situation, if you forgive the pun that I just accidentally did with that. And it all matches up, because then you go to Hollow Bastion, Riku obtains the Keyblade from Sora, but because, Sora's connection to it and Riku's fall to the darkness, he no longer has the ability to take it. It's not his anymore. He's lost the right to wield it. The next question concerns both Riku and the king at the end of the game, and why they're on the other side of the door that Sora helps close. So here's what he had to say, and this one's a doozy, okay? Work with me on this. "As far as the king is concerned, he was on the other side from the beginning. He disappeared because he went to the world on the other side in order to find one of the two keys. There, he has his own adventure in the same way as Sora, which we will actually experience later on in this series. As for Riku, his body stolen by Ansem, his heart did not remain in this world. The other side of the door is, just as it appears, darkness, so Riku's heart went to the world on the other side. That is to say, just as Ansem was saying at the end, the world of darkness. So basically, this world of darkness, this realm of darkness, is on the other side of that door where both the king and Riku are, so his heart goes there. Thus, when Ansem disappears and Riku returns to his original body, he's in that world of darkness, so his heart is just drifting there in this world of darkness when Mickey says, I have the other key, this is all gonna work out. This happens during that cutscene with Kairi before we head out to the end of the game. And we defeat Ansem, he fades away, and then Riku gets his original body back and he helps close that door, and that's why he's on the other side of that door. Did we need to know these specifics in that way? No. But it is very endearing that, you have a creator that cares that much about the details. The last question pertains to why Riku can't just return to his home world after the whole thing is said and done. His body has returned. He isn't some being of darkness. Why can't he just go through the door and meet with Sora? And this is a question that Nomura has gotten a lot, as he said. But the answer is actually written in the world's prison computer message. It is implied that only darkness can pass through the door. Riku and the king are not creatures of darkness, so they can't come out through that door. So basically, they're trapped. Because even though Riku's been corrupted, he is not a being of the darkness. And neither is the king, obviously. The king got there through special means, which we will get into later in the series, but they're ultimately trapped and they have no way of escaping, at least through the door to darkness. So effectively all they could do was help seal the door and help protect the worlds, which is a good way to answer that kind of question and, not immediately give us the happy ending that we were expecting. Now, the next thing I would like to talk about is the secret ending to Kingdom Hearts. It's something that I don't feel many other games have, and it's that Kingdom Hearts is always trying to hype itself up at all times. It's been a tradition that at the end of a Kingdom Hearts game, you would be able to unlock an extra little slice of footage, and this footage would be a trailer, a cutscene, something that would hype you up for what's coming next, kind of like the next episode preview for your favorite show. And these were done to a grand scale, and Kingdom Hearts 1 was no different. Originally, it had a short little video called Another Side, Another Story, which is then made even bigger for the final mix version of Kingdom Hearts called Deep Dive, and I included it at the end of the KH1 Let's Play, and I'd like to include it here, and we'll talk a little bit about it right after this. If you want to know what makes this series extra special to me, it's that these secret endings that they show at the end of these games make it so the adventure never really ends. You're never not thinking about this series, I feel like, at least for me, because there's always something to look forward to. A lot of games end, and sometimes they'll have some open-endedness to their ending to make you go, oh man, there could be a sequel, but when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, they're like, no, we're gonna show you sometimes, either through, oh man, you're gonna get a letter, and it's like, you gotta go follow it, or in this case, we're gonna show you some high-quality CG that's promising some amazing new event, and it definitely steps up the action, because it is the most action-packed thing in the series at this point. You compare the footage of these two warriors facing off in this dark city surrounded by Neo shadows, and it's already better than any action you saw in the game you just played. And then it also, it just in a way is a step up from what you just played, and then makes you go, oh, I need to play this. Ultimately, what we're seeing there is the setup for Kingdom Hearts 2. That's not the game we immediately get, though. The next game we're getting is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which is set to be a bridge between the two games.
Of Memories. Rated E for everyone.
Now, Chain of Memories is a very interesting game. It serves as the bridge between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and is also on a completely different system, the Game Boy Advance, and uses a completely different combat system. It wasn't easy or reasonable for them to put the 3D combat system onto a 2D portable console at the time. So we had a card combat system that is polarizing, I think. There are plenty of people who hate it, plenty of people who love it, and I can't really say there's that many people who are kind of in the middle on the overall gameplay of the game. I started off with not really being into it, but I played it because I was a fan of the series, and then I grew to love it, and at this point I actually like it quite a bit, and I think it's a really good combat system. The game originally on Game Boy Advance was developed by the Jupiter Corporation. They are known for doing a lot of portable games such as Disney's Party for the Game Boy Advance, Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire, Spectrobes, and of course one of Tetsuya Nomura's underrated games, and it is still fantastic, The World Ends With You, which is on the DS, and I think it's on phones, but I think they don't update that, so it constantly gets broken. But that's not the point. The point is, they are known for doing portable games, and they absolutely nailed it by making a fantastic GBA RPG in the form of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. But the fact of the matter is, we're not going to play that. We're not. Reason being, they completely remade Chain of Memories into a PlayStation 2 game under a completely different developer, and it was a way to help sell more copies of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, which was the repackaged, updated version of Kingdom Hearts 2. an interesting product, and we didn't get it, I think, for at least a couple of years over here in the West, and Europe didn't even get the release until the HD collections on PlayStation 3. The team behind this remake is known as Osaka Team by fans. Osaka Team is the second Kingdom Hearts team. Think of them as like the second string. They were meant to work on smaller Kingdom Hearts titles, while the main team, the Tokyo team that made Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, were off not making Kingdom Hearts games. Instead, they were working on Final Fantasy Versus 13, Nomura's next big project set to release sometime, somewhere on the PlayStation 3. We all know at this point that didn't happen, but effectively that's what that team was doing until its inevitable, destruction or whatever happened to them. But Osaka Team was originally supposed to make Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep first, but because Nomura wanted to do this remake of Chain of Memories, this ended up becoming their first game they had ever made for the Kingdom Hearts series. And as you will learn and as you will, come to understand, Osaka Team went from becoming this, smaller team that was starting to make some of the side Kingdom Hearts games to the Kingdom Hearts team, to the point where they're the ones making Kingdom Hearts 3 right now. So this is greatness from small beginnings and card combat. The remake for Chain of Memories kept pretty much everything from the original. They added some extra gameplay aspects such as the Pluto card and various other cards into the game, and adapted it into a 3D space that you would expect for the PS2 version, on top of plenty of cutscenes that are completely voiced, and all the trimmings you would expect, ultimately making it the definitive version of the game, and it's quite good because of it. In my opinion, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is an underappreciated game in the series. A lot of people try to consider it and many other games in the series to be side games or filler and other things that undercut the importance of the games, and they say the only thing that matters are the mainline titles, to which in many people's minds, there are 3 games and one of them isn't out yet. Well, fact of the matter is, these aren't side titles, these are important titles in the series, and this one bridges the gap between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. It's fantastic, filled to the brim with new characters, interesting fights, new music, and I think it is a very good time. And tomorrow, or in the next episode of the Kingdom Hearts series, we're going to jump right into that. And with that, that's going to do it for this interlude episode. Sorry if this was a little bit on the long-winded side. I really am not doing this with any type of script or anything like that. I do an okay amount of research beforehand, and I just want to show my love of the series and set up these games properly and give them some special attention. In our next video, which should be tomorrow or next in the playlist, we're going to be jumping into Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories from the very beginning and checking out this awesome PS2 remake and seeing what happens next in the adventure of Sora and his friends. I would like to thank you guys so much for watching this interlude video, and hope you'll join me for even more.